And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We apologize for the delayed break, but we are finally going to be starting the second half of the broadcast. We're here in the beginnings of Group D of the open bracket of the open stage of ESL Masters Summer 2023. We just finished up Group A and Group B. Now we're here with the D, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Team Abydos. It is Creator.
And in the top left-hand corner of the map here, it is the Frenchman. He is representing Alta.
Yeah.
Is he still playing for Alta? Representing Alta, this is PtitDrogo.
Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. So we apologize for the delay, but no matches were missed. Other portions of the bracket did commence, but we did not miss out on any of these wonderful, beautiful games. And we have an update. A Laser already 2-0'd Molten, his opponent, and a Laser, the best Zerg player in all of Poland, is waiting for the winner of this series.
Yeah, there we go. Some prize for winning this game, but alas, that is what they are going to be fighting for here, and that will be giving them their chance to try to make it through the upper end of this bracket. We do, of course, have the lower bracket, so whichever does drop down, they will have that lower bracket to come through. So even if we see a bit of an upset, and it would be an upset, I think if Drogo took down Creator, he still has another chance to get through. Likewise for Drogo.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really excited because we've already had a couple of upsets today. We've already had Hearthstone taking down DRG 2-0. Didn't work out in the rematch, but we already had like a result like that. We already had Shadown 2-0ing Nightmare as well. So anything is possible here in a PvP. Anything.
Yeah, that's for sure. But Creator here going to be starting off with a double Stalker, so potentially looking to put on a little bit of pressure here. Even traps the probe in. That's kind of cute. I haven't seen that too many times. And yeah, it's going to be a Sentry opener for both players. So both players playing standard, just feeling each other out here in this game one.
Yeah, bearing in mind as well that, of course, Creator only showed one of his Stalkers to the probe there of PtitDrogo, so he's not fully aware of what is coming his way. We can see that Creator is immediately going to be sending out his first two Stalkers across the map and looking to try and flex his advantage here. We'll see if he can outmaneuver his opponent, as we do just see a Hallucination moving out.
Yeah, Hallucination going to go get that scout, see what is going on here. As he has just opened up with the 2 units, so does have to buy himself some time for this battery to get up and running.
Yeah, Shield Battery does finish up in the end, so Drogo will be able to push this away. Of course, we have Creator just flexing his micro as best he can, trying to trade as best as possible with some of the energy on that Shield Battery. Meanwhile, Hallucination does dive in, and we get a full scout, and so far, both players are mirroring each other quite well.
Yeah, the Deers don't do this in Age of Empires, do they?
Oh.
Mr. Drogo.
I don't. The Deers?
Yeah.
Oh, because you scout?
Yeah, you like hunt deers.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
They don't fight you.
They don't. I do know that you scout with sheep in Age of Empires.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
You have a horse as well.
You do. Oh god, we can see off of this Creator is going to be going for a much faster Forge. That's the first major deviation. Both players went for their natural bases, of course, went for 2 gate openers, went for Blink as well, but with this Forge, Creator will have a much faster +1 timing. Oh boy.
Yeah, this is very fast +1 for PvP. This almost feels like he's taunting Drogo to come at him and try to punish him for this, but Drogo likewise is going to be throwing down a Forge as well, so he will be just mirroring the build of his opponent.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with his Hallucinated Scout, he saw that Creator will have an upgrade advantage, and he doesn't want that to get too out of hand. So Drogo is going to be playing catch-up here with his third base. With his +1 with that Forge, but does have a much faster third base behind this to try and flex his economy to try and get ahead in that manner.
Yeah, I think we have seen this time and time again in PvP. You can sort of just mix and match the same pieces of the standard opening, and as long as you get there with the same pieces in the end, I don't think it's going to be too big a deal, especially because this window where Creator's going to have +1 over the +1 of Drogo isn't going to be that huge.
Yeah, it's only a couple of seconds, and the likelihood of that really coming into play is going to be quite minuscule. So because of that, as you're saying, kind of all roads lead to Rome, and or in this case, all roads lead to Sweden, and we're all in Sweden. I mean, the players are, not us. But yeah, with that, nothing too crazy when it comes to any other deviation. We're rushing into charge, though. PtitDrogo is straight after Blink, so he's going to be looking to diversify his army a little bit more, at least faster than his opponent. And so far, it looks like Creator is just going to be going for a pure Blink Stalker-based composition.
Yeah, ultra standard stuff coming out from both players, so a lot of respect for both of them for each other. Creator not just coming out here in the first game and skill checking Drogo. I'm sure these players have played each other at some point, probably a long time ago. Drogo doesn't play quite as much anymore.
Yeah, definitely, and it's also one of those things where this is of course the first match of the day for them as well. So they're still just kind of breaking in their setups. You know, the reason why we started so late was because they were just getting their settings up and running, fixing up their hotkeys, and just getting their PCs ready for their matches. So yeah, as a result, they're just making sure that they're well warmed up here for their series and for their day of group stage.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we are going to be seeing first little divergence in the builds. +1 armor rather than +2 attack coming out for Drogo. It's a bit weird. I think it's general consensus. I think that +2 is just better than the +1 armor in this situation, but there might be some old school reasoning for this.
Yeah, I would imagine it just has to do with the fact that he's going to be relying a little more on zealots from here. I think, like, I do agree. I think +2 is just better in every sense of the word for a stalker versus stalker. But because he's been incorporating some zealots or charge early on, maybe that's why it's hard to say. He's still working towards +2 with his second forge, working on that, double upgrade timing.
Yeah, okay, double upgrades coming out there. So with that, I think Creator should be able to get into a slightly higher gateway count earlier, but Drogo is going to start to put some pressure on here. We haven't had too much action between these two players yet. Yeah,
it's been pretty passive overall. We do see both armies skirmishing here towards the fourth base of Creator. We have a couple of force fields thrown down, but nothing too major. The blinks have been on point. Shield battery is done, and nothing really does come of this, but Drogo is looking to reinforce with his Stalker, with his Prism. He's looking to lay siege upon this base.
Yeah, looks like we had a couple of depths coming in at the third of Creator, but I think they were cleaned up pretty nicely, so nothing too crazy going on there.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, we're just going to be looking to refine our army ever more. Creator incorporating not just Immortals, but also Archons as well, which will help out so much against the charge outs of his opponent. Meanwhile, Drogo still working with the pure Gateway army. He's just skirmishing here. I don't really think he wants to commit. He is taking another base, the center base behind this.
Yeah, Drogo going straight up to 5 bases here. We see Creator. I think that's an observer at the third of Drogo, or is he putting some harass on? Oh, just a hallucination. Okay.
Yeah, so with that, he's going to be able to get an eye on the worker count and the base count of his opponent. I believe he did miss. Yeah, he did miss the center base being taken, so he's not fully aware of what is going on. And Creator is just waiting to receive. Like, we have a beautiful concave set up here just in case his opponent pushes in. But as we know, Drogo's expanding. I don't think he really wants to push in. As I say that, he flirts with the idea, but he's just going to be testing the waters, rotating around, looking for another angle of attack. Oh.
Yeah, Drogo pretty much just keeping Creator contained here. Nothing too crazy is going on just yet. We're going to take some trades with the Zealots, of course, as we do see Creator kind of being forced into this fight, and I don't think this is necessarily a fight that Drogo wants to take.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to take it either, as the Zealots are just pushing on forward, wreaking havoc. The Archon's doing so much here for Creator as well.
Yeah, the complexity of Creator's army just a lot better, as we see Drogo has a lot of Zealots mixed through his army, which aren't going to get too much done against the Zealot Archon frontline.
Yeah, again, the patience of Creator as well, just absorbing the army of Drogo, taking a better fight in the end as a result, and Drogo does get forced back, thankfully. You know, he's able to get his center base up and running, and he can take advantage of the gas geyser as well, but Creator wants to be the aggressor here. He's got +3 about to finish up in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, as that +3 kicks in, it looks like he wants to take the fight. Drogo just doing his best to trade off units slowly and allow his economy to do the heavy lifting, whereas Creator isn't in any rush to get a 5th base here, so he does want to do some damage.
Yeah, exactly. Needs to break on through, and so far the Archons are looking to do what they can here on those ults. We do have an overcharge to support the army of Drogo. At the same time, he is sending a Prism into the main base of Creator.
Yeah, looks like Creator gonna respect the overcharge. Backs off for just a moment, but that overcharge should be finishing up about now. The cannon battery is gonna turn this Prism back now.
Yeah, exactly. Prism doesn't get a siege up in the main base. Meanwhile, after that overcharge runs out, Creator, he just pushes on in. And with the power of his army, he's just snowballing a little bit out of control here. He's just rolling over the army of Drogo.
Yeah, with the +3, with that composition as well, he is just smashing his way on through those +3 Stalkers. Doing so much work here, and he just cleans up everything from Drogo. GG is called, and there you go.
GG, that was a fairly straightforward game coming out from Creator. Very impressive stuff, as yeah, there was nothing too fancy about it, to be honest. You know, both players kind of respecting each other, working up towards a 4-base economy, and then arguably Drogo takes a bit of a rough fight, and things quickly escalate from there.
Yeah, they both did pretty much the same thing. Very passive early game, and looks like Creator just played it out a little bit more clean than Drogo did. Just had the slightly better composition and used it a little better. Nothing too crazy there, really.
Yeah, nothing too crazy at all there. So really powerful stuff coming out from Creator, and yeah, we'll see how this does, or if Drogo can fight back here in this series. We didn't really get to talk too much about it. As you were saying, Drogo used to be much more active back in the day, now a little bit less so, but like despite that, I want to believe that he has been preparing here for his tournament run. He has been putting in a lot of work, and yeah, from time to time he has been able to flaunt his skill and show off some pretty impressive results. So I want to believe.
Yeah, for sure. But he has a very formidable opponent, an opponent that has not been taking breaks to play Age of Empires, one that has been grinding straight through at the highest level, including GSL. This is, in the bottom left, Creator.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient System, we have his opponent. We have the French Protoss player representing Team Alter. It's the Blue Protoss. It is PtitDrogo. Boy.
And I think I'm hoping to see Drogo mix things up a little bit this time around, because I don't think playing such a passive game against an opponent that's stronger than you is ever really going to get you too far. They both did a really good job feeling each other out, but it just never really felt like Drogo had an advantage or a win condition there.
Yeah, exactly. It did feel like he was one step behind his opponent. I mean, sure, he had maybe like his double upgrade timing where he had 1 over 2-0 of Creator, but outside of that, like, he was lacking the Archons, as you were saying. He was lacking Immortals as well. He had a base over his opponent, but that isn't the most impactful of things in PvPs, as we saw. So yeah, I agree. I feel like Drogo has to maybe take a bit of a different approach here, especially now that he's down in this series.
Yeah, the other thing is, if these Korean players smell blood, sometimes they will go after you with something a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. Creator is not one to hold back, especially now that he's young. His compadre, I don't know any other languages. Maybe you can help me out there, Asher. But his teammates in Nightmare was eliminated. And bearing in mind they are teammates, I'm sure they came together in the same flight. I'm sure they helped each other. Maybe they could even be staying together in a hotel room, as they did come together into the open brackets. So, oh boy, for Nightmare to already be out, I'm sure he probably had a bit of a chat with Creator afterwards as well.
Said, you better get through. Do it for the boys.
Yeah, do it for our plane tickets, papi.
That's Cope. That's big Cope.
Oh god. So yeah, the pressure is on Creator. The pressure is on him to try and make something happen here. For the time being, nothing too crazy. We do have 2 gate openers all around from both players, but Creator is gonna be spicing some things up.
Yeah. Creator only shows the first Stalker, and then he's going to show both of them now as that pylon does get finished. Going into Stargate off 2 Stalkers is pretty interesting. It's something that a lot of the EU players won't do. They'll usually go into Stargate off at depth just because it's a bit more efficient. You're saving that extra gas so you can get the Stargate faster. This is more... I feel like this is one of the key stylistic differences we always see between European Protosses and Korean Protosses. It happens in PvP as well, where European Protosses will always do the most optimized version, whereas Korean Protosses do value the mind games.
Yes, exactly. Not just that, but they also believe in themselves to overcome the lack of efficiency in the opener and be able to catch your opponent off guard anyway, or overwhelm your opponent with their just sheer control. As I say that, we do have 2 Adepts and 2 Stalkers showing up. Do have some solid force fields, but ooh, looks like Creator is going to be able to get out of that.
Yeah, Creator trying to go after the sentries here. This is very reminiscent of what we saw with Nightmare vs. Shutdown. Going with this, I think it was 4 Stalkers and 2 sentries. Sorry, 4 Stalkers and 2 Adepts when Nightmare was doing it. Just trying to snipe down these sentries. And the Adepts do snipe down the sentries very fast, but this has opened up damage for the Oracle, and that is almost game-ending damage right there. My goodness, 5 kills already for the single Oracle.
Yeah, 5 probes do go down, and the Oracle, it takes a little bit of hold damage, but it's going to be able to go back in. Meanwhile, we commit to the Shade. 1 sentry goes down. Probes are being focused out as well. A 2nd sentry, and this is getting out of hand.
Ooh, sentries going down, probes going down as well. We were talking about it before. Creator might, after sensing a bit of weakness in the first game, go for the throat in the second game, and that is exactly what he is doing. A huge amount of damage already going down. 13 workers being killed.
And counting, because we have a 2nd Oracle diving in as well. We got 1 more probe. The first Oracle dives back into the main base. Thankfully, there's plenty waiting for it, so there's not going to be too much additional damage being done. But, God, look at the worker disparity. Creator, he is up 9 workers compared to his opponent.
Yeah, Oracles can be such a fantastic opener in PvP for this exact reason, because even if things aren't working out so well for you back at home, the damage potential is absolutely huge. And if you can get ahead 3, 4, 5 workers in PvP at this level, that's pretty much game over.
Yeah, it's so difficult to recover from that. Not impossible, of course, but difficult. Drogo does have 1 advantage, and that is his Twilight Council opener. It was faster, of course, and he does have a faster blink as a result. Is that going to be enough to overcome his deficit? That is the question, as he's looking to expand and take a 3rd base. It looks like he's going to try to go all in off of this. It looks like he wants to try to macro out of it instead.
Yeah, so he's going to go up into that 3rd blink finished up as well. So he is going to get a little bit of that map control, and that's going to allow him to take his 3rd a little bit. Well, I was going to say a little bit ahead, not quite, but at a pretty decent time.
Yeah, it's not at a bad time. Not a bad time at all here for Drogo. It's this is.
Oh my goodness. That's so unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. The Stalkers, they get caught mid-blink, 2 of them even up in the air like they just don't care. And this is going to be some free damage here for Creator. He's going to be able to just pick off these 4 Stalkers almost for free.
Yeah, they remind me actually of, you know the turrets in Portal? When you knock the turrets over and they're like, oh no.
Yeah, I could definitely see that as the Adepts come in, they get 1 more probe kill before they get cleaned up. Thankfully, there were Stalkers in position, but alas, Creator still has a massive lead right now. He's working towards charge, +1. That blink advantage that Drogo had is now gone at this point, and you know, we're looking for one of those comeback mechanics. You know, we're looking for the anytime, the Dark Shrine, or the ballsy.
Oh yeah. Okay. Keep my eye out for some balls.
Yeah.
As I do want to point out as well, Creator, his Twilight Council and his Forge are not next to each other. He left a gap, and I really don't like it. They're not even lined up the same way with the pylons. This is the trigger.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that you like it better when they touch tips.
Yeah, they just look so nice next to each other.
Yeah.
There's something so aesthetic about
Yeah.
Twilight and a Forge.
Yeah, exactly. You know, why separate them? Why keep them apart when they deserve to be together? I hear you loud and clear, Asher, and we'll talk to him about it. As the two oracles do dive in, 2 more probe kills do go down here at the third base as Creator looks to distract the army with his stalkers. Again, we're not going for any kind of big killing move yet. Creator, he's working towards his 4th base, just looking to refine his army, get further ahead before he does really commit to any kind of major push.
Yeah, Creator just comfortably macroing along. I mean, things worked out really well for him in the first game when he was allowed all of that space and given that passive game to just macro on up, and they were pretty even in that game, so why not even more from ahead?
Exactly, and as you say that, you know, we got +2, we got Archons on the horizon, soon to be charged lots as well, and yeah, Drogo still hasn't opted to go for any other weird tech. Everything's still looking quite standard from him. He's going for a 4th base. I mean, I guess part of this is very respectable as well. You know, he doesn't want to go for any cheeky shenanigans. He wants to go toe-to-toe with Creator, with one of the best Protosses in South Korea. Again, very commendable, but it's still a tough ask.
Yeah, I'm just not really sure in this case what the win condition is, because if you're just traveling along the same way that they are, but from behind, I mean, I guess you're hoping that they push into you and they take a bad fight into a battery.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best case scenario, right? Like if Drogo takes a defensive position, if he's got some overcharge, some shield batteries, if he's maybe able to catch his opponent out of position as well, maybe get a better angle in a fight. Like there are ways to overcome this deficit, but look at the soup. You know, the soup tells a story.
The army's crazy. Creator's just so far ahead here.
Yeah.
If he can reinforce this with a prism as well, I think this could just be game-ending damage right here.
I think so as well. I mean, he's going to be settling for a proxy pylon instead in the center of the map, but we'll see how Drogo is able to keep up with this. He has been able to scout and confirm the army location, but there are just so many zealots.
Yeah, Zealot's going to be working their way in. There are a lot of adepts to help deal with this, but the Stalkers get on top of the shield battery. Shield battery goes down. There is no healing here for the army of Drogo, and those Archons will be going down to the focus fire of the Stalkers now. GG is called. Creator with a fairly comfortable 2-0 victory.
GG, well played. Wow, did not break a sweat at all. Creator looking dominant here, takes the 2-0 and moves on to face his next opponent. Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, great stuff there from Creator. Looks like he's just trying to distinguish himself as a bit of a cut above and get through this open bracket as fast as he can, really.
I mean, we had a delayed start, so I don't blame him. Like, he wants to get things going. You know, we don't want to fall too far behind in the schedule, as we were supposed to commence over an hour ago. But, you know, we're slowly catching on up. And, yeah, with that, Creator advances on. We mentioned it earlier, but he already has an opponent ready and waiting for him.